Thank you. Well, for most of Metro Atlanta, school is back in session, and there's no better time than now to check in with our kids to make sure they're doing okay emotionally as this new school year gets underway. Joining me now, veteran Marine and mental toughness expert Eric Rittmeyer. Eric, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Your guys' weather is a lot better than it is in Maryland. I want your weather.
Okay. You know what? We're kind of liking the fact that it's not really hot here, so I'm not sure we're ready to trade with you. But thanks for the offer. Thanks for the
Absolutely.
offer. You know, I mean, this is obviously very timely information and so important. You describe what some students go through when going back to school as an emotional tornado. I mean, I've witnessed it myself and my own kids. I feel like it was almost made worse by the pandemic. Talk to us about why it's important for parents to be engaged and aware of what this time can be like for their kids.
Yeah, this is an emotional time for everybody, not just for the students, like you said, but also the parents. And when I refer to these emotional tornadoes, what I mean is we just get so overcome in emotion that we're not able to think logically. Our kids go through these really difficult times, and I think where it starts is communicating with them to let them know that 100% of their feelings are okay. Every single feeling they have is okay. It's how they respond to those feelings that's important. It's our job as parents to give them the tools they haven't yet found.
And speaking of some of the tools, I love that you have this broken down into a very straightforward strategy here. You call it the 3 N's. What are those?
Name it, normalize it, navigate it. What I mean is name the emotion. I refer to this as an emotional vocabulary, a way they can articulate how they're feeling. Normalize it. Let them know it's real. Let them know. Don't try to discount it. You know, they don't have the skills that we have as adults yet, so don't minimize the feeling they have. Help normalize it and then navigate it. Give them healthy tips for how to deal with these things. Our kids are learning things now that they're going to use for the rest of their life. As adults, we want to shelter our kids from pain, from physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain. Let's give them tips and tools so when they face these situations in the future, which they're inevitably going to do, they have the mechanisms on how to handle it.
Yeah, and I feel like that normalized part is so important these days because I feel like we all either have a parent or a grandparent or there's just a different generation that was kind of raised with this idea of suppressing your feelings and, you know, kind of getting away from that now.
Suppressing's not good. It never is. We have to let everyone know that we are emotional creatures. We don't want to try to stop the emotion. Let's just find constructive ways to deal with it. And as parents, as adults, our kids see right through us. Our kids are amazing emotional detectives. So we have to be very sensitive to how we act around them, the things we say, the things we do. They're going to follow our lead.
They sure are. All right, so you mentioned navigate. What are some of the best ways we can help them navigate all of this?
It's let them know the emotions are real. It's explain to them, hey, I've experienced this. I understand where you're coming from. And again, as adults, even though we have all these skills, our innate, what we might want to do initially is be like, hey, no big deal. It's all right. It's okay. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. But we really have to connect with them and let them know that I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. This is why you're feeling this way. Feelings are a wonderful thing. I experience it as well. This is how I handle it. Let's give them these tools. Again, they don't have these things yet. This is a scary time for them.
And a good opportunity to gain these skills. But you also talk a little bit about, you know, how it's important to consider their age and sort of the level of their mental capacity when you're having these discussions with them or when you're asking them questions, right?
Yeah, and it's real important to ask. It's real important to ask open-ended questions as well, right? And this is based on their level of mental capacity. We're going to answer questions differently for our 5-year-old than we are for our 15-year-old. We don't have to try to explain quantum physics to our child if they're just asking a very simple question. But answer their questions, let them know it's real, give them that open-ended type thing so you can have an open dialogue about it, and listen with them. Get good at listening with the intent to understand what they're feeling, as opposed to just listening long enough to reply to them.
And talk to me about the importance of just being honest and being realistic in your expectations.
It is. Again, remember, our kids can see right through us. They know exactly how we're feeling. They wake up, they look at us, they know exactly what's going through our minds. So let them know it's real. Again, we don't have to come across as being totally despondent. We can show emotion with our children. Let them know it's okay to express it. But again, just help them understand that what you're feeling, it's for a reason. It's you trying to tell yourself something. Let's get good skills on how we can use this moving forward because they're going to deal with some crazy stuff in the future.
Absolutely, they will. I love your advice. We can all benefit from this. Eric, thank you so much for your time this morning.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
And for more tips from Eric, you can pick up a copy of his book. It's titled The Emotional Marine, 68 Mental Toughness and Emotional Intelligence Secrets to Make Anyone Instantly Like You. The time right now is 10:42, and coming up, travel expert